We got Sheets eating lunch, and we have early slate baseball, and we have Bobby probably coming also. So that's good. We'll figure out what's going on here. Hopefully, got some real good news yesterday. Hey, what's up? What's serious? What's going on, Bobby?
How's it going, man?
Good. How are things on the home front?
Okay. Go one day at a time, and it was nice to get back into working a little bit yesterday, and had a pretty good results. A really good NBA slate. I won all the bets too, 4 for 4. And then almost had a chance. I was a 1v1 away in the alley oop. I ended up 19th.
Really?
Yeah, I just played one entry and I had a shot though. But it was a good night, and then a good night with baseball. But a couple things I wish I would have got a little differently. We had a lot of the Stanton Judge alone combo, which was nice, and they carried a couple of my teams, but couldn't quite get the right mix. And did come off of St. Louis a little bit at the end because I could see the ownership starting to sway that way. So that was one thing I liked. But I wish I would have gone Boston instead of Atlanta, and it would have been a real nice night. How was your night?
Oh, not for me. I stayed with St. Louis. And so that was the problem with my baseball slate. And what else? Actually, I didn't do that well at all anywhere. I didn't do well in basketball. Hockey, I did okay, but I didn't really quite get there in basketball. I had too much Embiid. I don't know, 18% of a 2-game slate. I figure it was worth having. I don't know. And I'll tell you this. Those Sixers are terrible.
I mean, that was awful. That was like ridiculous. Yeah, I agree.
I was watching with my son. He's like, what is this team? This is terrible.
I know it's really bad. I actually am like surprised that they even were able to get a couple of games at home. I think that series is done.
And then Phoenix really turned the heat on in the third quarter yesterday.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed about Ja not being there because I wanted to see what was going to happen in this series. I think that it could have been a good one, the Memphis and Golden State series, and it just feels kind of over now.
What is that, 3-1 now?
Yeah, and I mean Memphis almost won that game the other night in Golden State, but it was because literally nobody on either side could make a shot to save their life. Like they combined to go 2 for 32 from 3 to start the game. Both teams, they put one was 2 for 16. Memphis was 2 for 16. They were 0 for 16 in Golden State. So yeah, so it should be interesting tonight. I actually think that one thing I'll write about. I'll do my picks and stuff later, but I just noticing that I think Boston as a 5.5 or 6 point favorite, depending on where you look. It's just too much to me. I think these are basically even teams with no Middleton. With Middleton, I would say that the better team is Milwaukee, but it is Boston right now, and we don't know if Grant Williams is playing, so that's going to dictate what we do DFS wise. But I'll have my early builds up and all that stuff. And then this morning's slate with baseball really frustrated me. Right as I was trying to get into the 333, literally I entered a lineup and it must have just sold out or something. So that was a little bit annoying. But I'm happy to talk through this baseball slate. I think it's a fun little mini one. I really wished yesterday was the day we could have had the Dodgers on the main slate, because I was saying that you had the perfect type of pitcher they don't hit the day before in Quintana, and then you have the perfect pitcher they do hit, guys like Bryce Wilson, and then you get the horrible pitcher bullpen. And of course, the Dodgers ended up scoring 1 million runs. Anyway,
but this is a fun slate for you, right? I mean, we get to see this Ryan P guy from pitching. I mean, I presume I want to play him, right?
Yeah. I'm playing him in my only lineups, but I didn't really get to much. Everything sold out, and I wish there was a little bigger tournaments. But the 333 would have been fun. Like, I'd have to play a couple in there, but just didn't get in time. So it was kind of frustrating because sometimes me, instead of reserving, sometimes I'll just try and build the lineup out and you end up getting burned sometime with that. But
I always build a dummy lineup as soon as you wake up.
Yeah, that's a good idea. My problem is I end up getting swayed and not wanting to leave certain pieces and like.
No, no, no. I mean like a dummy lineup with like guys that aren't playing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just so you reserve your spot.
Yeah. But I do think there's one thing you could do on this baseball slate to get like this is not going to feel good, and I don't even think I want to even say that. But like you want to try and get really weird on a slate like this. Maybe you take a weird shot that like Gutierrez has been awful, and cannot find the strike zone. I just think like if you got to try and find something weird to do, right? Like it's pretty clearly you want to play Milwaukee and the Dodgers. I don't mind if anybody wants to pivot over. I would play like I have one-offs of like Vlad. I like some of the one-offs for the Yankees, but I guess you could argue for the White Sox being a solid stack, a little more hard contact against Savali this year, but it's going to be hard to get off the chalk today.
I don't know. I think I'm going to lose. I don't think I have a share of the Dodgers.
Well, then you probably are going to lose, but
yeah, so that's cool.
But I think it's. I mean, I think Milwaukee's the real chalk.
I got Toronto.
Okay.
I got Milwaukee, and I got Cincinnati. Why not?
Yeah. I would advise against stacking today. I would say if it's up to me, I was making a rule and I was playing 150. I don't think I would have any 5-man stacks.
And that in and of itself is a good way to get different.
Exactly. That would be my route. And yeah, Sheets, that's what's crazy. Yesterday what saved me and why I cashed in a lot of my tournaments, I was like I had the Stanton Judge together, or I had the Jordan Luplow, you know what I mean? Just these weird little one-offs that sort of got there. I had Gavin Sheets as a one-off in a number of lineups. He had a home run. Like those things can really carry you. So I would be looking to do that again today. I do think the White Sox, especially a guy like Sheets, Gavin Sheets, and Abreu, I would take some shots with today.
So Grandal was out, and the other one's out too, Moncada, right?
Grandal has been maybe the worst hitter in baseball this season. I don't know. I played him last night still because he's 2,400 on FanDuel. But boy, that was pretty ugly. It's just he's just awful right now. I think he's hitting like 110 or something. I think it's really more like 130 or 140, but feels bad. Anyway, guys, so what are you doing? You said you have some Toronto guys. What's going on?
What I'm doing, unfortunately, is picking up the phone. So.
Okay, while you do that, if you mute, I'll keep going. Guys, say what's up when you pop on in, and let us know what you're doing on this slate. Is everybody playing this slate? I feel like nobody's up right yet, and not used to seeing nobody in here. Usually we at least have a few guys. So if you are in the chat, please say what's up and give us the like and all that stuff.
Sorry about that.
We appreciate it. But anyway, so Sheets, what are you doing? What are you doing with this slate?
Right. So I'm going to rebuild because these White Sox, I didn't know that they were out. But as I mentioned, I'm playing the Reds. I'm playing Milwaukee. I'm playing Toronto. I'm playing the White Sox. And for me pitching, I'm playing the Dodger dude.
Yeah.
I'm playing Berrios and Talion.
So you're not playing Hauser?
Hauser? No.
Okay. I feel like Hauser. So Hauser is I think the only guy I wouldn't like. I think if I played all the lineups, I don't think I would fade him.
Okay.
Maybe like 10%. Cincinnati is. What is their record now? I mean,
so that's the deal, I guess. So I'm playing Cincinnati. So there it is. Right?
But that's okay. I mean, I'm just, I maybe that's why that there's a way to get different. I like that actually. It's a direct, pivot. But Cincinnati is 6-24. It's hard to be that bad in baseball.
No, but I heard that what's his name? That they're calling up Ken Griffey again. Ken Griffey Sr.
Senior and junior. They both played there together
Ken
too.
Griffey Sr. And then they might pull up Concepcion for some defense at shortstop. So.
Well, I like that. I mean, the one they've only going to have one guy who's owned, and that's Friedel. I don't think anybody else is going to get any ownership, particularly on that side of things. So I think it's an interesting way to go. I of course, like I said, I wouldn't make any 5-man stacks against it. That's just me, but I do like the idea of getting a little different with that. I mean, it is pretty shocking how bad they are. I mean, I like Moustakas though as a one-off. I mean, he's 3.5 now. His price has gone up. his production hasn't exactly. He's been a little better than he was to start the season, that's for sure. But yeah, I guess I can get behind it. I mean, look, yeah, we got to do something weird on the slate, right? Like that certainly makes sense. And by the way, Pittsburgh is probably a good way to go if you want to speculate against Pepio.
Moncada is out. Grandal is out. Yeah, I mean they're early, but I, you know what I do? The thing I like the most about what you said is if you're gonna listen, if you're gonna play 150 in 4-game slates, and I almost never do. But if you are, I think what you said is a really cool thing to do. And you could use Saberson to do that. You could just X out 5-man stacks, you know, or only 10% 5-man stacks, whatever. Yep. And that in and of itself, it just creates this shuffle that's just going to get you different, you know.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I'm looking at some other things here. For what it's worth, I'm not sure if maybe I should double check the weather here. I'm confused as to why. I know it's a bullpen game, but I sort of thought the Dodgers' run total would be a little higher. I'm actually surprised that Milwaukee's is the highest on the slate, but maybe I'm missing something weather-wise that I didn't investigate well enough. So I'm going to take a quick look. All right.
So I may as well tell. So I just redid this stuff with Moncada and then out. I'm just going to just run it like this. I'll tell everybody my exposures and then we'll. Hey, 4 games. The good thing about a 4-game slate baseball, like you literally can't be wrong. I mean, like
right, nothing can be wrong.
It's like telling me you're playing him in showdown baseball.
Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing. Yeah, there's no such thing as a bad play.
Yeah, so it looks like. Whoa, I don't need him. Why? Oh, it's so funny. This is why you have to use your brain here. So I was getting some of this like relief pitcher. Oh no, why do I not have that? Pitcher. So weird. Why is this guy still showing up? I don't know why.
For Pittsburgh?
I guess, but who is it? Who is that? Who's Kramnik? No, it's not him. Okay, yeah, I got to exit. I got it. I got it. Okay, yeah. So it looks like. Let's do this again. Yeah, I'm telling you, don't. You're gonna use Sabersim. Do not just ever, especially in baseball, just blindly put shit in. I mean, like you just can't. You're gonna get. I don't know why. But you're going to get sometimes as guys that are just like you'll get a relief pitcher in there, especially in like a 4-game slate where the algorithm will just go bananas. They'll say, okay, so where can I get different? You know, and I say, okay, I'll give you. If you want to play these stacks so badly, here you get these relievers. I'm like, no, don't want to do that.
Yep. Just taking a quick look. Project Mayhem. Yeah, I mean that's rough. He says he got the pitch. He had Martin Perez last night. Wow, get Perez and Verlander. That was the combination. Sheets. We said it before. Yeah. That Perez. Everybody wants to attack him, and all he does is go out there and like no hit everybody for 6 innings.
He sure does.
It's pretty crazy every single time.
Yeah. So it looks like what we're going to be having is we are going to be having 60%. I'm really not getting as much of this Dodger guy anymore. Actually, I am. Sorry, I'm getting 50% of the Dodger dude, and then my next highest own. It's going to be between Talion and Berrios and Savali. So I'm not really taking a big stand, I guess, against the field. I suppose.
For what it's worth, is the fact that the Yankees and Blue Jays have faced each other. If you are multi-entering, I do think that getting like little 3 and 4 mans, because that's what happens. The second, third time around, seeing a pitcher for the season it's always helpful there. Any love for Cleveland Sheets? How about for you?
I got 20% Ramirez. If that means anything.
Yeah, I mean Ramirez is always the best play on every site. It feels like right. I do like Cleveland. I think that Velasquez is a guy you can definitely take shots against. I'm not playing a ton of lines because again they all suck and they sell out too early. So I also don't think they're going to be particularly low owned. I think you're going to have to play guys like Rosario batting 7th if you want to get different. Look, Josh Naylor just seems to hit home runs every day, and I think what does he put up in the last 2 days? He's put up 64 fantasy points. I would play some Josh Naylor at low ownership, assuming that he is in fact low owned, which is an assumption right now. But you could certainly get some hard contact off Velasquez. He's been a little bit better this season in terms of the power numbers against him, but he's still giving up hard contact, and is definitely a guy I wouldn't mind taking some chances against. So yeah, I'm fine with Cleveland, but you're definitely not getting different with them.
I've got a one-off of Vogelbach.
Yep.
Okay. What else is different here? Actually, I don't even think it's that different. But yeah, I guess it's just the Joe Morgan, Pete Rose stack here. I hope the Reds just somehow figure out a way to play baseball. I guess.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you don't need much, right? Like,
no.
In fact, that's probably just the right way to play in general.
You get 105 points to win the slate. That's a sheet slate.
Yep. Maybe not. Maybe, by the way, 105 might even be pushing it today. We don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That might be a little bit much.
Yeah, but Jose Ramirez could get 35. Could get like 35 on his own. So.
Yeah, exactly. Jose Ramirez might end up being like half of your lineup, and he could win the slate for you. I mean, that guy is just crazy, man.
I'm leaving some money on the table.
It's another thing you can do, yeah.
But what I'm going to do is, let me take a look at I can't even do any funny business with the start times. Man, this is tough. 3, 12, 35s, and then a 2. Goodness gracious. Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird, it's just a weird, ugly slate. Like, if you are playing Dodgers,
I'll tell you the other day when you were out, I played the 2-game slate. I got like second, like by myself, like a unique lineup in like a 2-game slate.
Oh wow!
Got like second, yeah. I don't think I had a chance. I think the guy ahead of me had me kind of covered. You know what I mean? But it's fun. But you can find these short games, even 2-game slates, guys that are just low owned that are hitting 8th. You know that may as well play.
Yeah, they're really. I mean, if Ahmed Rosario was leading off today and not batting 7th, you'd probably be double digit owned at least, maybe a little higher. Instead, he's going to be a couple percent owned. It's worth playing those kind of situations.
Yeah, I was wondering, Project Mayhem. So Vogelbach that's your guy, right? So they're guys that everybody just seems to just get home runs and stuff when other people have them, and when then people play them, they do nothing. Like Vogelbach's like a perfect example of that because he is an 0-for-4 guy. You know what I mean?
And, he's an 0-for-4 without touching the ball a lot of the time.
Right. But with my guy, the guy that I perceive that way as like an 0-for-4 or a 3 home run guy, just become like in my head, every time I see him at the plate, he hits a home run or hits like a single or double. And that's like Rowdy Tellez. Like he this year, I don't think he's made out like the whole season I've been watching. And I'm sure he's still hitting like 100, you know what I mean? Whatever. But not when I'm watching him. I promise you.
Right. Vogelbach was the one that, I mean, there was literally like everyone had him as a cash game play. It was for like a month straight. I think it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he got a hit the whole month.
That's amazing, right?
Like it was like with minimum cost, he's batting 3rd. I'm like, but he doesn't have a hit.
He doesn't have a hit, and he certainly doesn't have a walk. He doesn't have anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think that. I mean, I think that's that contrarian way, but I do think there's a way to stack the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers really did do we know you're going to go for the bullpen thing. They don't usually do this against lefties, but they just played their lefties today. So I mean, you could play the Dodgers and play an unowned Edwin Rios, who has basically the most power of any player on the slate.
Well, that I like.
Adam Judge. Yeah, Rios. I mean, he did. What did he go? 3 for 5 yesterday with a home run. We hit a pinch hit for a home run the day before, and 1 for 1. I mean, he's just a monster. He's just got immense power. I mean, if you watch the Dodgers take batting practice, you would swear that Edwin Rios was, and you were like an alien. You'd never seen them. You'd swear he was the best player that ever lived. Like it's ridiculous. How far he hits the ball compared to the rest of the team.
And he's hitting 3rd.
He's hitting 8th.
I mean, he's hitting 8th, but he's 2,200.
Yeah, but nobody needs the money, so he's going to be unowned.
I'm going to throw him in here.
That's
in
the
this
way
one.
to get different with your
I was
stack.
just looking at some other guys in that position. Like, what am I doing playing Jace Peterson at like 2,500?
Yeah, what I would be doing is just all Dodgers at third base. I mean, they can't all be owned, right? Like they're all third base only eligible. Rios,
I'll
Muncy,
tell you why I have him like hitting ninth or whatever, Peterson, because I have him in a stack where I have a wraparound with Colton Wong and Yelich. That's why I have him in there.
right. It just feels weird, like to play Jace Peterson, who's actually getting ownership.
Yeah,
more ahead of Muncy and Turner at lower owner, or ahead of Turner at lower ownership. Muncy will probably be higher owned. I would just rather play Justin Turner personally than Jace Peterson. All right. You do have the wind blowing in a little bit for what it's worth in Pittsburgh, but it's a nice day, 74 degrees, only 6 miles an hour blowing in, so not much. It's blowing in a few miles an hour in Cincy, but it's nice and hot. Blowing in big time in Yankee Stadium. I might want to reconsider my Vlad Guerrero play here. I think that you'd want the lefties if you're going to play the Yankees and Blue Jays. 16 miles an hour is where you probably shouldn't, even on a small slate, be getting too many bats that are right.
I promise you that the Sheets weather forecast confirms that it's windy.
Yeah.
It's definitely windy this morning.
I'll tell you where it's windy. I went to Santa Barbara. It was like 50 miles an hour the other day. My sinuses still haven't recovered. I can't really breathe. Just nastiness up here. But I can't be in Santa Barbara and complain about weather. That's sort of like one of the unwritten rules.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah. It's like
we're going out there. Oh my God, it's freezing. What is it, 63?
Yeah. Actually, up in my family's house, because it's more in the valley, you wake up a lot of mornings, even in May, and it'll be ice on the ground because it's sort of like it's sort of like the desert effect. And but it also during the day it gets really, really nice and warm. But in the town itself, it's because the wind, because the ocean, it stays incredibly nice.
You never lived in the valley in LA, did you?
I spent a lot of time there. I had a girlfriend from there for a while, so I spent a lot of time there. But then
when I lived in LA, I went to there was they had a thoroughbred track there. It was like a fair that they raced like a couple, when Del Mar and Santa Anita were kind of like a layover, whatever it is. And I forget what it was called, whatever. It was not Pomona, but like something like that. And I've never been, and it was like August. I've never been so hot in my entire life. Like in August in the valley, you get no respite. You get no freaking, it's just brutal in there. And the difference in LA weather is like different places. And then I had this not girlfriend, this girl I was friends with. And we would go up to, they had a place at Arrowhead, which is like above the smog line out there. It was like the most beautiful place on the face of the earth. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's LA's, people say LA's, the weather's always the same. It's just totally, it's not the case. I mean, it's just different, like so many different places around.
Yeah. And that's what Roger Mann said. It's Pasadena. I mean, I'm in, when I'm downtown, and that's where I've been living. It gets, there was days last year where it was like 112. I was like, it's just, just unbelievable. And it also, like the last, a couple of weeks ago, I was down there and it was low 50s. It was like 40s and 50s every day. It was just the weirdest thing. But yeah, if you go down to Santa Monica and it's always 65, 70. Let's see. What else have we got here? Well, I think we can start recording for the next thing, Sheets. If we
may as well do that. My lineups are in. I know you're not playing. So
I have a couple in there.
You're not playing big, is what I'm saying. So you're not stressing, and then you'll we'll record the late slate, and then we'll record golf.
Yep.
And then we'll be in business.
Yep, sounds good.
All right,
guys, I do encourage everybody to check out the bets and everything on the site, because the NBA ones, I know I was out for a little bit, but the NBA has been fire. Another 4 for 4 last night. Had a buddy who hit the parlay on all 4 of it, and let's keep it rolling.
And I don't want to tease everybody. I'm like really looking forward to a possible development in True DFS. I'm not going to get into too much of it, but the impact of it is that if it works out, I'm going to be free to do a lot more cool things, which I've been really wanting to do, but just haven't had the time because I'm doing other things that are not as cool. So I want to get into doing some cooler things with you guys, some more teaching stuff and some more advanced stuff and whatever. So we're trying to make it so that I have a little more time to do that, and hopefully we'll be able to announce that in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
Yeah. But that'll do it. I'm going to close this down. Good luck, everybody in the slate, and watch for the multiple recordings that are going to be coming out.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.